I'm running for U.S. Senate. I'm not a politician. I'm an electrician. I'm a local 134 IBW electrician. And I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with the state of our country. I'm frustrated with the way that Republicans, but also Democrats treat us, treat our communities, treat the people who they represent. It feels like we're neglected. It feels like we're abused, we're excused, we're forgotten. And so I'm running. I'm running for us. And you know why? Why do we need representation? We need representation. We need someone in office, in Congress, who speaks for the middle class, who speaks for the working class. I am, what else? Where do I want to start? So I was raised, I grew up in Chicago. I grew up on the South Side. My grandmother's in Inglewood, and then my mom and my dad moved me to the west suburbs. I was raised in Broadview for most of my childhood, small suburb. And I learned from watching my mom work and watching how hard she worked to provide for us, like what it means to be middle class, what it means to not have. And I've taken that throughout my life. I've worked hard, I worked smart, and I went to school. First time I didn't take it seriously, I went to South Carolina State University, and I didn't take it seriously. And I left, I dropped out. I went home and I figured out who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and I went back and I got my bachelor's degree in physics. I went on to be a teacher for a time, elementary science, and then I went on to do astronomy for another time. I was at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, and coincidentally, the same year that the plane was in Charlottesville, I was there. That was interesting. Where am I going? I am running for people like us. I don't think. Let me see. Where should I go? My bills. I'll talk about the legislation that I want to introduce into Congress on day one. So I have 3 bills that I've been working on. I'm getting my flow. I have 3 bills that I've been working on, and I'm serious. I'm frustrated. I really am. And there's 3 things that are near to me that may not. No, they do. They represent the middle class. The first one is the Billionaires bill. On day one in the floor of the Senate, when I'm elected, I want to introduce into Congress a bill that taxes the wealth that exists in our country, in our economy. I'm an amateur economist. And I know that a lot of our wealth is hoarded at the top. And when it's hoarded at the top, we can't access it. It doesn't flow through our country. It doesn't flow through our economy, through our neighborhoods. Wealth in our neighborhoods lasts, 17 minutes or something ridiculous like that. It doesn't stay in our economy. It doesn't stay in our neighborhoods. So, tax the billionaires. How do you tax the billionaires? You introduce a 1950s era tax. Remember the 1950s? It wasn't too good for us, but they tax billionaires at 92%. A 92% tax rate. And we start this tax rate, I'm trying to be fair. So we start the tax rate at 10 million. After your first 10 million in revenue, you give the rest, or most of the rest, back to the economy that made you so profitable. So that's one part. But because billionaires don't really thrive off of their income, we tax their wealth as well. So anyone with a wealth of over $50 million, we tax them 2%. 2% of that wealth annually. And wealth over $1 billion, you can't count to a billion. Fun fact, it would take between 30 and 40 years to count to 1 billion. You can't spend that much money. You can't spend $1 billion. That's too much for one person. I think that's selfish. That's hoarding. It doesn't go through the economy. So we tax them at 5%. It's not even a lot. They'll still be billionaires. So for those of us in the room and without the room who, I want to be a billionaire one day, you can still be a billionaire. You can. So that's one. My second favorite bill is that I plan on introducing on day one on the Senate floor, the pink tax legislation. We don't appreciate our women. And we in this room, I'm sure, appreciate our women. But as a country, we don't value women in this country. We tax them. The razor that a woman will purchase is not the same price as the razor a man will purchase. The bras that you purchase, your menstrual products, And these things, there are hidden taxes on women, and it feels unfair. And I want to do something about it. So there is already a bill in Congress. It's been stuck in Congress, and it doesn't move. And it's related to what I want to do. And you ask why? Why isn't it moving? Why don't we do something about it? Why aren't our politicians doing something about it? Well, that's what I'm going to find out. So that's one half of the pink tax legislation. The other half is more subsidizing. It's subsidizing the cost entirely. The government can't afford it. We can afford $1 trillion for war. We can afford to subsidize pregnancy, childbirth, and early child care up to the first 5 years of child care because it's expensive. It's really expensive to take care of your children. So we subsidize as a government, and it will cost a few $1 trillion over 10 years. It doesn't even cost a lot to take care of our nation's women. And I say we should do it. So that's my second bit. And then my third one, my friend over here was speaking about being a teacher. And you're a teacher, and I can relate to that. And I've been a teacher for a very short time. I was only a teacher for a year. And I have such an immense respect for our nation's teachers. Y'all have the hardest job, to me. This is my opinion. Y'all have the hardest job in the country. Teachers, and I'll say farmers. And that's what I call the bill, teachers and farmers bill. Because teachers literally raise our children. Teachers raise our children. And farmers raise us. You know, they plant our food. They grow our food. We don't appreciate farmers like we used to. Not even 100 years ago. 95, 98% of all Americans were farmers. We had to raise our own food. And we've gotten away from that. We don't really appreciate how important, how invaluable these people are. And not just farmers, farm workers, people who work on these farms that they slave this land and they don't even own it. And I feel there should be a minimum wage for farmers, and there should be a minimum wage for teachers. For teachers, that minimum wage, to me, this is just my opinion, this is what's in my bill right now, it should be 2 times the median income in our county. So somebody might say, well, that's a lot. Why are you paying teachers so much? You know, why are they so important? Because they raise your children. And not just raising your children, but they spend, $850 every year on school supplies that doesn't get paid back to them. Teachers work 55 hours on average, 55 hours, 58 hours a week. And only about 38 of it is paid. Teachers work hard and they are underappreciated. That's my third bill, teachers and farmers. And these are things that I want to do in the Senate. Some people call me Democratic socialist. I don't like the term. I don't really consider myself a Democrat. I don't really consider myself I'm not a Republican. I would say I'm liberal leaning. I would say I'm working class. I'm maybe populist. I care about working people, and I feel that there's too much wealth at the top. It doesn't trickle down to us, and that's what I want to go to the Senate to do. And I feel, so someone might ask, well, you know, what about the people who you're running against? You're running against U.S. representatives. You're running against a lieutenant governor. Why would I vote for you over them? And with all due respect, I am not from that system. Sometimes it feels they get locked into a system and they have to be beholden to their donors. Some of them have millionaire donors. Some of them, is that my time? I hope that's not my time. Some of them are beholden to millionaires. Some of them are beholden to special interest groups like APAC. And I will not take donations from large special interest groups or large donors who will expect something in return. What else did I want to touch on? I kind of just came up here blind. I haven't prepared, but I just want to say that I am a candidate that has seen what a lot of the people in this room, I'd say all the people in this room have gone through. I've lived it, and I'm frustrated, and I'm running for people like you and me. Thank you for your time.